What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. So yeah, you guys see this situation with Blue Beetle is getting really, really bad right now. Absolutely 1000% bad. And listen, it's all self-inflicted. It is 100% on the makers of this film, on James Gunn, on Warner Brothers, you name it. It is all their fault. Because here's the thing about the Blue Beetle that I've just never really understood why they went the direction they did with all of the nonsense and the controversies that they did with this particular character. Number one, it's the character. Nobody's heard of the Blue Beetle. Nobody knows who the hell the Blue Beetle is. If you walked up and asked somebody, hey, what do you know about the Blue Beetle? They would be thinking, is there like some kind of new beetle in the world that I need to be wary of? Okay, some kind of pandemic bug that's going to come and wipe us all out? Like, what the hell is a Blue Beetle? Nobody knows, all right? And then you say, oh, it's a comic book character. They'd be like, I never heard of this fucker. I don't know who the hell you talking about. Blue Beetle. Most people have never heard of this character. So to get a film made about a character that nobody's ever heard of, you got to be very, very careful when it comes to everything that you say, the marketing, the words that you're using, all of that kind of stuff. You need to be walking a fine line, because guess what? One step out of that fine line that you're walking, and you're probably going to ruin this thing. And that's exactly what these guys have done. You can see this is on Bounded in the Comics. Blue Beetle early box office predictions are a complete and utter disaster for Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav, James Gunn, and their DC universe. And see, again, a lot of this stuff has to do with James Gunn. There's actually a trifecta of issues that happened here. Number one, James Gunn announced that reboot. As soon as you announced the reboot, everybody was like, oh, I ain't got to worry about none of this crap. All of this crap that they're about to drop, I don't have to worry about any of it. I could just completely ignore it. And they have been ignoring it. Every 2023 film was toast the moment that you announced the reboot. And that's exactly what's happened so far, right? Shazam, flop. The Flash, flop. Blue Beetle, about to be a flop. All of these films are going to flop. And then Aquaman is having major issues right now. Again, the moment that James Gunn said this, and I found this so telling because look, I'm not the only one that's saying this. Check out this guy's tweets. Unbiased Snyder fan. I don't think there's such a thing, but yeah, he says David Zaslav rushing to announce Gunn as the head of DC 3 days after Black Adam opened, and then Gunn rushing to announce a Superman reboot and a new slate when there are $1 billion worth of investment in 2023 DC movies was kinda dumb. Yeah, absolutely. And he continued right here. Announce Gunn in 2023, early 2023. Okay. Gunn says he's focused on finishing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and he'll start working on a DC slate soon. Okay, all right. So far, you haven't said anything about these 2023 films. Then what he says, radio silence and let Hamada Productions crash and burn on their own. And see, to me, this was definitely the issue. Don't say anything about these. Just let them come out. Let them just roll out as they are. All right. And see what they do. Maybe they do something. Maybe they don't do nothing. Who knows? But just see what they do on their own. Say, yeah, we're going to have a DC slate soon. I'm taking over DC and we're going to see what's going to happen. And then you just say nothing and you just let these suckers drop. And then in 2024, you announce a reboot starting this new Superman movie. Is it that hard? 100%. That would have saved them all kinds of issues, all kinds of problems, right? Then he goes on to say what Zaslav and Gunn's PR spins led to is a very convoluted conversation around the brand. Every Monday, Gunn comes out with a new statement that ages badly after a week. Yeah, all of that has translated into flop, flop, flop so far for the DC in 2023. And it's going to be the exact same thing when Aquaman hits later on this year. And then you'll remember this particular article. This is number 2 of the trifecta, that this thing had agenda laced all over it, right? This thing had complete agenda laced all over it because Zola Mariduena, the star of the film, says the goal of the film, right? The goal of the film is not to entertain you, all right? Not to be entertaining, not to, oh man, we've had a burning desire to tell this great Blue Beetle story. It's so important. We think this is a great character. We have a phenomenal story that's just been burning in our hearts forever and ever. Can't wait to tell this particular story. No, the goal is to tell people that Hispanics can be superheroes. That's it. That's the goal. As if there weren't Hispanic superheroes already. And we've discussed it at length. Again, I'll link that video if you didn't see that. But yeah, he came out straight out and said it. Yeah, the goal is to create a movie for a young me and a young Angel Manuel Soto, the film's director, that said, hey man, someone who looks like you or comes from a similar background can be a superhero. And then the second thing was to open up more doors for people like us. And again, that's the problem. Again, agenda, agenda, agenda. All of these films seem to always have some sort of a secondary message. They can't just stick to, hey, we think the Blue Beetle is an awesome character. Man, I cannot wait to dig into this character. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be awesome. But no, we're going to just talk about our agendas. That's the important thing, the agenda. And then you'll remember Susan Sarandon had revealed that her character was representative of the white military industrial complex. So you see all kinds of messages and agenda just pushed into this thing. All right. So that was the second problem. Get away from the agenda, tell a story. No, they couldn't do it. They had to stay. They had to put some agenda in this thing. That's just the way these guys are in Hollywood. They can't help themselves. And then, of course, the third one, right? The whole Batman's a fascist line, right? The Batman's a fascist line was like the coup de grace, right? Stick a fork in this movie, it's done. That's basically what this thing is. You know, DC just labeled Batman a fascist. Here's how fans are reacting. Of course, that was the line from the trailer. We did a trailer reaction on that. And we looked at the commentary that was coming out of that. Because instead of coming out and trying to explain, hey guys, I just want you to understand it's just a big joke that's in the film. We're sorry it came off the wrong way. Let's go ahead and just backtrack. I hope you guys give the movie a chance. Something like that. No, this is what this guy came out and did. Ha ha, well, my job is done. I've pissed people off. That's what he did. The director is out there pissing people off and talking shit. And then they wonder, well, why is nobody coming to see this movie? Because basically that's what this is coming down to. So yeah, let's go ahead and read the article on Bounding into Comics. Early box office projections are here for the upcoming Blue Beetle film starring Solo Mariduena, and they look to be utter nightmare fuel for Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav, James Gunn, Peter Safran, and their DC universe. Box Office Pro predicts the film will only bring in between 12 to 17 million in its opening day. No, opening weekend. That's it. That's all this film is going to make for its entire opening domestic weekend. The outlet further notes the film will only gross between 27 million and 55 million in its entire theatrical run. That is an absolute disaster. There is no way in the world that you can look at this as anything but a disaster. 12 to 17 million. And I found this absolutely hilarious because look, check this piece out. So here's the article, right, from Box Office Pro, long-range box office forecast for Blue Beetle and Strays. And when I first said this, I'm like, yeah, what's Strays? Strays, I had no idea, really. I'd heard of the movie, but I had no idea what this movie was going to be about until I actually started doing this video. All right. And if you see this little picture, this is the Strays, obviously. You're figuring, okay, one of them little random family adventure pet films, pets on an adventure or whatever. They run away. This guy's got a collar. He's obviously somebody's pet and he's running off and he's become a stray. That's how I saw this thing. Okay. He's become some sort of a stray. It's probably some, oh, my poor dog is missing. Will he ever find his way home? That kind of a movie. And that's kind of what the movie is. But as I started digging into this thing is like a raunchy rated R comedy about these little lost dogs, all right? Like, check this out. Yeah, here it is. Strays, Universal Pictures. Opening weekend is 18 to 28 million. Look, this thing is expected to do more than the Blue Beetle. That if that don't tell you everything you need to know about how bad it is, and this opens the same day, August 18, okay? And this thing is expected to do more than the Blue Beetle is going to do. If this doesn't tell you how far DC has fallen, if this doesn't underline that with a red ink pen, I don't know what else will, okay? This thing, it's absolutely incredible. Again, a rated R comedy, okay? Rated R film. So I had no idea what this thing was about. I watched the trailer. It was kind of amusing, okay? I would watch it, you know, but I mean, it was kind of amusing. Sausage Party, Good Boys vibes. Yeah, definitely had the Good Boys vibe. I would absolutely say that. But I didn't see this thing coming at all. And the fact that this thing is going to be going head to head, right? You can see it right here. Here's the Blue Beetle and here's Strays. They come out on the exact same day, August 18. And yeah, 12 million to 17 million here, 18 million to 28 million there. This joint right here, this tells you everything you need to know about the DC universe and even the long range, okay? 27 to 55 million, 45 to 80 million. This has to hurt. It has to hurt. There's no other way to look at this. And listen, again, like I said, it's all self-inflicted. All DC needed to do was not talk, okay? They let these actors go off and run their mouths. They let the director go out there and, ha-ha, my job is done. And all of that crap. They put that Batman as a fascist crap in the trailer, which makes no sense whatsoever. You lost all the goodwill you could have possibly gotten from this film because you just wanted to run off at the mouth and be funny and be cute. And now look, you're looking to make $12 to $17 million opening weekend. I hope you're happy. Again, eventually these cats will learn. I think a lot of this is primarily related to the James Gunn reboot. I absolutely believe that. I think if it wasn't for the fact that James Gunn was rebooting this, there would be more interest in the Blue Beetle. I 100% believe that. Even if they didn't say anything. But the fact that they said all of the crap that they said, that just added fuel to the fire. That just gave everybody who was looking for a reason not to go see this movie all the ammunition they need. Oh, that's it. I don't need to see this crap. I don't need to be subjected to this bullshit. Nope, not doing it. And there we have it. And now you're looking at an absolute total failure in the box office. How does that feel, DC? You have great characters. I'm a DC guy. I am a DC fan. That's like one of my top 3 fandoms. And it is absolutely hard for me to look at this because, again, I just want DC to be great. I want entertainment to be great. But these guys keep shooting themselves in the foot. They keep mouthing off to the fans, and they think that they're going to get somewhere with that. Inside their little Hollywood bubble, maybe they're giggling and hee ha ha ha. Look what we said. Okay, but at the end of the day, this is what happens. This is the end result right here, idiots. Failure. You're a complete failure, and you'll never learn. These films are going to continue to just crash and burn, again, until hopefully maybe one day Hollywood wakes up, but I doubt it. All right, and look, it has a cascading effect. Everything that has happened with the DC universe has had a cascading effect. It has absolutely destroyed the DC brand. It totally destroyed the DC brand. Like, for instance, The Flash, right? One of the biggest box office flops in Hollywood history. Once again, brand damage. They have destroyed the DC brand. And this is on the heels of James Gunn saying that they're going to reboot the whole thing. So now you start to wonder, well, what is this reboot going to do? How badly have they damaged the brand with all of these crappy movies? You know, you had Shazam, you had Flash, you're going to have Blue Beetle. None of these have done anything to rehabilitate the brand. If anything, the Blue Beetle has done everything in its power to hurt the brand. With all the director's comments, with this woke agenda that they're throwing into it, it's stupid beyond words. I just don't understand it. And then we got Aquaman coming up. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom reportedly undergoes a 3rd round of reshoots, faced confusion over Batman. Yeah, so apparently they had to eliminate Batman from the movie because Batman was somewhere in the movie, and James Gunn has made the decision. The latest cut of the film features neither version of The Dark Knight, according to sources. So what they're talking about here is that originally Michael Keaton was originally filmed in the scene, but then he got replaced with Ben Affleck when it appeared Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom would be released before The Flash. So yeah, they didn't want to have Michael Keaton in the film before The Flash was in, so they reshot it. But now, neither one of those versions of The Dark Knights are in this film, according to sources, as new DC heads James Gunn and Peter Safran do not want to promise a movie universe that will not come to fruition, nor tie it down excessively to past failures. It was pretty chaotic, said one source. Yeah, I would say it's going to be utter trash. And again, I don't know. The movie might actually be good, okay? The movie might actually be good. Honestly, I don't think Shazam was all that terrible. I don't think that The Flash was a terrible film. I just think that they completely screwed both of these movies up by rebooting the universe, number 1, okay? The stuff with Ezra Miller, number 2, but then going forward with this Blue Beetle stuff, nobody's going to check this out because number 1, the character, number 2, is not a part of the DC universe, and then number 3, because the director is shooting off his mouth and putting all kind of woke agendas in there and all kind of other crap. Nobody wants to come and see this. This is not a story that I'm interested in. I, as a DC fan, am losing interest in the Blue Beetle. And I absolutely was looking forward to some sort of a Blue Beetle Boots to Gold film coming down the line somewhere. I'm like, oh man, that could be pretty cool. Let's check that out. But no, this is where we're at right now with the Blue Beetle, with the DC universe. The brand damage continues. The brand damage continues. This is 1,000% ugly. Only going to make 55 million domestic total. You would have hoped that maybe it could have got 55 million in its opening weekend, you know, way back in the day, you know, maybe even more than 55 million. Now that's going to be the entire domestic run. If they're lucky, okay? It could get on the low end of 27 million. This is absolutely dreadful, but once again, this is what you get when you decide that you don't want to listen to fans. Fans were calling for Henry Cavill to stick around. I think that if Henry Cavill sticks around, all of this stuff is shining. All of this stuff is better. You know, James Gunn didn't have to do what he did. And maybe his Superman movie is going to be great, but he didn't have to go and do what he did. And by doing what he did, he destroyed every single 2023 DC film. There's no question in my mind about it. Anyway, folks, you guys let me know what you think. Go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.